So this is called Plume Rouge. We have a hawk sort of theme around here, yeah. So Plume Rouge is our entry-level red blend. This is kind of what we call the gateway wine. This is, again, very similar to the Tempranillo in some ways, but the Tempranillo that we just tasted is a very deliberate Tempranillo varietal wine, whereas the Plume Rouge is very much more a modern take, an Oregon-style take on Rioja. So we're looking at about 57%, give or take, Tempranillo with the blending varieties, Syrah, Cabernet Sauvignon, Merlot, Cabernet Franc. So it's a very modern sort of take on classic Rioja.
It looks like I was reading about the tasting notes before we came on, and it looks like you've thrown everything but the kitchen sink in there, but it blended out really nice.
This wine, it's interesting. For me in the winery, we spend more time on the red blends than we do on practically any other wine because we want to make sure we get them right. And it's amazing how much a 1% difference or a 2% difference in any wine can make. 1% Syrah versus 3% Syrah can have a massive impact on the wine. And the same with Cabernet Sauvignon and Malbec and Tempranillo. And so it takes a long time for us to really get this blend dialed in to where we feel like it expresses the vintage and the site and what our stylistic goals are with the wine. But I think we did pretty good with this wine.
You got some really nice fruit in here. It's bold and big. And how long would you recommend you could lay this down? This really seems like it's got some age, will take age very well.
I agree with you 100%. The Plume Rouge has the combination of alcohol, extract, oak, tannin, and acid that to me as a former sommelier spells longevity. I really wouldn't be surprised if this wine is still drinking beautifully 10 to 12 years from now.
What I like is it carries all the way through the palate. You know how a lot of wines will end about 3/4 of the way and you're waiting for something to happen and it doesn't? This I can feel all the way to the back. This is very nice.
Thank you. That's one of those things that we talk about in the winery here at 2Hawk is wines that have progression. And we want them, and rather than having that flavor progression that goes like this, we want it to be a smooth sort of building and a crescendo and then a decrescendo so that you get the full experience of the wine, and the wine has the personality that's all its own. The wine presents as something that has character. And that's what we really feel like we're starting to see. And I can't even, Joel, again, I can't tell you how much this wine has changed since we bottled it. It's been bottled now about 1.5 years. And the difference between a year ago and today is profound. It really is.
I'll tell you, like I said, it's got really nice characteristics, and this is probably something that you could lay down and goes with everything. It really does go. I could see this with a nice sausage and cheese platter, sitting with some crackers, olives. It brings me to Spain and toppings. This really is something that I could really get behind.
We call this in the tasting room. We have a lot of folks that come in that aren't that necessarily familiar with wine, and they're kind of exploring. And we always say, take a bottle of this home and have it with pizza, and let that be the way that you kind of explore the first sort of food wine pairing. And one of my favorite ways to have this, I love this with, like you said, the classic sort of Spanish. The jamon de Iberico ham on the pizza with a very light red sauce and then a drizzle of olive oil and then some shaved almonds, some shaved Marcona almonds on top of that to give it a little bit of crunch.
You just gave me something new to try.
Yeah, I mean it's a terrific pairing. Delicate fare with this wine. But again, if you want something that's a little bit more full-bodied to go with this wine, like you were saying, the grilled ribeye with the blue cheese crumbles on top. This wine's got more than enough tannin to handle that kind of funkiness in the blue cheese. It's versatile.
I don't see any red meat burying this. This flavor is clean and big. The only thing I would do right now with it is aerate it before I
Yeah.
decanted it. Open it up a little because I could see there's so much more behind that tannin right now.
Mhm.
And it like I said, do you guys make a bad wine? I'm teasing.
I hope not.
There you go.